So today's video, I want to quickly go over a cue, which is, it's quite simple to do, but it's quite easy to forget or to not even think about, and that is of getting balance before you come down for your actual squat. So what I mean by this is, when you're in a squat rack here, you pop out, you walk out. Before I come down for my repetition, I want to make sure I'm in a very balanced position, so all my weight is in the middle of my feet. Okay, I don't want to be in my heels, and I definitely don't want to be in my toes. If I am in, well, basically the mid-foot, that's going to be your most balanced position. You were having the load, so that's a combination of the load of the barbell, its center of mass is going to be somewhere here, and then also the center of mass of your system is going to be somewhere in the middle here, okay? We want to have that center of mass over the middle of our feet, because that's going to be our most balanced point. Anytime our center of mass deviates either forwards or behind that base of support, that's when we lose our balance. Now this is an issue in a squat. If we're losing our balance and we've got a barbell on our back, if we're wobbling at the top here and we're not in a balanced position, or if I'm with my heels or off my toes, if I'm already unbalanced, when I come down, it's increased likelihood that my squat is going to be a little bit imbalanced as well. So usually what I see what happens with people, if they start too far back in their heels, they'll come back down, but then when they get down to the bottom, everything shifts forward. Okay, so the balance, or if you imagine the center of mass, it goes this way and then it goes this way. It kind of swings. And then opposite ends of that, if you're falling into your toes, then the center of mass can fall forward, and if it happens enough, then the bar can actually go over your head. So, what I want to think of between every single repetition that I do, when I'm here, taking my breath, come down, when I come back up, I don't want to come down too fast, okay? I want to come down, come up. When I come up after my repetition, I'm usually a little bit imbalanced. I'm going to have a little bit of wobble, especially if there's a lot of weight on the bar. There's more likelihood of that the bar's going to wobble. So when I come up, I'm going to wait for the bar to stop wobbling. I'm going to wait until I have got my balance back into my midfoot. Okay, I'm going to get tight. My cues is I pull the bar down into my back. I take in my breath and brace my midsection. And then the very last thing is, you'll see when I do the repetition now, I'm going to wait, because I'm waiting to make sure that my balance is really, really balanced in my midfoot. I'm going to wait, and then I'm going to come down. Because as I said, if I'm more balanced in that top position, then I'm going to have an increased chance, or a likely increased chance, that the rest of my squat is going to be more balanced as well. So I'm going to do a few reps now. I'm not going to be able to talk through it, but what I would like you to look at is when I come down and come back up, I don't come down straight away when I get to the top. I do those things that I talked about. I'm going to wait for my balance to settle, find my balance in my midfoot, pull the bar, brace, wait again, and then come straight down. So last thing I'd like to note, another very important thing for your balance, you want to make sure that with your eyesight, you're looking at one point and you should not be moving your eye gaze around. Whether you're looking at the floor and looking at a point, or if you look straight ahead, pick something that you are looking at, okay? If you are trying to balance on one leg, if you start looking around like this, okay, you're more likely to lose your balance. Generally what we find is our body generally wants to move into the direction that we are looking, okay? If you focus on one point while you're balancing, you're more likely to stay in a balanced position. So when you're squatting, you don't want to be looking down here and then look up here, or you don't want to be looking up and then you look down, nor do you want to be looking at different things. This could be an issue if you're looking in the mirror, because if you're looking at yourself in the mirror, you're likely not looking at a single point. You might be looking at what your knees are doing, what your chest is doing. You're probably looking at something. You might even be looking at multiple things. Okay, so it's important when you're getting that balance in a squat, look at one point during the entire movement.